Hang on. Now my audio is weird. Okay. I think you should be able to hear me now, and you should be able to hear the music. I'm so sorry I didn't realize the music was not playing once again, on the title screen. My apologies. The VOD for this one is gonna be wild. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. You should also be able to hear the music now. My gravest apologies. I ran a Windows update this morning. Hopefully you can hear all this. I ran a Windows update this morning because I was like, I get, super stressed out about Windows updates, but I was like, they usually only take 20 minutes. It's a really quick restart. It'll be fine. Windows decided to do a version update today, and it started as soon as I turned the thing on, so I couldn't stop it, and I was like, well, here we are. So I'm assuming it reset a bunch of my audio, settings, but they should be working now. You should be able to hear all the things I'm saying, because the microphone bar is moving now. Let me know if sound balance is off, or anything. Here we are. Blur was first. Woof just deciding that he'll be first, even though it was already taken. Pie is here. Pie always first in our hearts. Bard Owl, hello, hello. We get some Woof time today, evidently, since he's working from home. Honeyshuckle, hello. Got a commission sheet set up, and I'm trying now to promote it and get my invoice forms actually set up in PayPal. Hell yeah! What type of commissions are you taking, Honeyshuckle? Woof time. We always appreciate Woof time. Bard, how's it going? Bard was my emotional support person this morning on Discord when I was running the Windows update. I gave her play-by-plays. I forgot to look at CoStar today. Should I do it live? Should I do it now? Should I do it on stream? Somebody please respond to me directly, just so I know you can hear everything. Okay, good. Bard said something directly related to what I said. Mostly character art, but I might do some character designer environments. Heck yeah! Did you post your form in our Discord in the other promo section? Let everybody know that you are open for commissions. Please, please do. Nothing is more difficult than trying to design a comfortable life for somebody else. Oh boy. Are you glossing over deeper issues? I don't think so. Wait a minute. Today, there's a little voice in your head telling you that it's selfish to spread confusion. It's not. It's not a great thing to do, app. Do sunglasses, candlelight, and finger food. I was not planning on doing finger food today, so interesting. Don't believe the hype. Comparing or themed restaurants. I won't do a themed restaurant today. Peaking tomorrow at 4 p.m., so I may as well not try today. It's so weird. The rest of it is like, you have trouble accepting that you have to be accountable for the ways your behavior hurts people. That isn't true at all. And then it says, take it easy, don't take people for granted. There's a little voice in your head telling you that it's selfish to spread confusion. It's not. It absolutely would be. Okay, here we go. I'm highly compatible with Ghost Pepper today. I feel like I should start all my streams like this now. Highly compatible with Ghost Pepper today. You and Ghost Pepper are a makeshift band of wayward musical instruments. We're wayward souls, you guys. Stealing each other's parts, forming unplanned harmonies, refusing to stay in key. Wolf, we need you to get this app, because we need to know what it says about you. I was going to wait and talk to you about it on Saturday, but I need you to get this app and add me as a friend. Oh, me and Bard Owl go shopping, apparently. Mine says that our mantra, you and I, is let me be hot enough to get away with this! Hell yeah. You and the Bard Owl shopping. You dig through the clearance section. That's true, I would. The Bard Owl is in the dressing room for hours. You somehow both end up spending the same amount. Mine said for Ghost, we're highly compatible today, me and my husband. You are a makeshift band of wayward musical instruments, stealing each other's parts, forming unplanned harmonies, refusing to stay in key. What does yours say for Ghost? We have to show these all to Carly as well. And for Carly it says, you can enjoy time together without worrying whether there'll be more. You and Carly both think that a connection is the ability to talk for hours about anything. Hold eye contact for as long as possible. Mine says Ghost Pepper wants to be a little bad boy today. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. Ooh, I accidentally reloaded it. It's called Co-Star. Woof. I'll type it. It's called Co-Star. It's completely ridiculous. It's an astrology app. It's an astrology app that uses NASA data to give you the most accurate information. And Bard, Carly, and I have just been having endless fun with this app. But yeah, so I ran a Windows update this morning. It turned out to be a version update. So I instantly Googled how long does version update blah blah take, and it was like anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours. And I was like, great. This was a wonderful idea that I had this morning. But it didn't take long. It only took about 45 minutes, which is why we're starting a little bit late this morning. But it's done. I don't have to stress out about it anymore. I always worry because I was close to the pause deadline, and usually it just eventually, even before the pause date, it's just like, yo, I ran an update for you. So I was hoping to get it out of the way. I was hoping it would be a little faster, but more like they pull it out of their NASA. I know, right? We got Ghost Pepper to sign up for the app because it tells you things about your friends. And I was like, you never have to, yes, that's the one, Woof. And I will send you our usernames so that you can add us as friends. I was like, you never have to look at it again. And he's like, oh, I might. Because I think if I add you as a friend, it changes what the things say. So let me send Carly. I don't have Discord on my phone, so I can't take a screenshot. I can't wait to see what it says about Woof. Oh man. I find this app so funny that I want to figure out how to set up a profile for Domarin somehow. I read that you can set up a custom chart, but you have to pay money for it, and I don't want to give them money. So I'm like, maybe I can get it. I couldn't get it working on my iPad before, but maybe I can get it working on my iPad. It's so funny. It's so funny. How are y'all doing this morning? Honeysuckle setting up commissions. Blur, are you arting today? Bard Owl, how does it feel to have power? For 2 days in a row. I also just saw when I was shouting out that I went live, that Joe did a stream at like 5:30 in the morning this morning. So RIP my stream, as Joe would say, rest in spaghetti. My stream streak. I think I had like a 43 stream streak. That's gonna reset today. Feeling great about it. Forgot I should probably write up a contract as well to cover my butt. Yeah, hopefully you won't have to worry too much about that stuff, but it's always good to kind of have it on the back burner in case you feel like, in case somebody might. I don't want to say too much about this, because for all I know, the authors are still floating out around out there somewhere, but when I first started editing, I had a situation where I did edits for a pair of authors. Very nice, like, people. Trying to be vague as possible, because I do not want to be bad-mouthing people. They were very nice people. And I did an edit for them, and it was supposed to be the first book in a series. And I did 2 passes, and I charged them my going rate for 2 passes. And then it was literally the week that the lockdown started. I got a message from them about how the book was poorly edited and they were looking for a refund. And so it was like, out of curiosity, like, what's the version of the book that you put live? Because that didn't sound, accurate to any of my other clients. Long story short, after this woman tried... I didn't mean to say it was a woman, but after this woman tried her best to make me feel guilty and embarrassed over having done a bad job, it turned out that they used the version of the book that was only after the first editing pass, not after the second. And I had gone back and given them a bunch of notes that matched what they, like, the comma styling that they wanted me to use, and a bunch of, like, voice-related things, because I had gotten used to the voice that they used for the characters. And so they basically didn't use half of my notes. So I was like, no, I'm not going to give you a refund, because I did the work. You were the one who didn't use it, right? And as far as I know, it was an accident. Oh, woof, That's my username. So I was like, no, I did the work. You didn't use it. That's your choice. It turned out I think it was an accident. I think it was just a whole big, they had something going on in one of their lives. They rushed out the release and just shit kind of happened. But I've been way more careful about who I edit for since then. Because you never know when someone's going to try to take advantage of you. The best way to not get sucked into the stress is to take a breath and leave. That speaks to my soul, woof. That speaks to my soul. I think the funniest part is, like, the do's and don'ts. There we go. Now I'll see what it tells me about Woof. So yeah, hopefully you don't encounter too many people like that out in the world, but there are always, unfortunately, people who are going to try to take advantage. Why is it not showing... It's not showing me anything about about Woofington. It upsets me. Ooh, you and its Woof can encourage each other to trust your emotions today. Woof can show you things you're not always ready to see. It makes me sad that you have to pay to see, like, your, I just went into his profile and it said, I think it just doesn't update right away maybe, but I just went and looked at his, he's, Woof and Ghost are so close to each other. It's crazy. Their chart is so similar. We are looking at the CoStar app because it's hilarious. Literally the other day, this app told me that Bart and Carly would kill a human to save a whale. Taryn, how's it going? How was your stream? I wasn't able to stop by this morning because I was doing a Windows update, but it's done now, and we're here. And how is your path to affiliate going? It is telling me not to do themed restaurants today. I wasn't planning on doing a themed restaurant, though, so I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay. I don't even know if we have any... Our town isn't really big on themed restaurants. You and Bard are both honest about your feelings right now. Bard wants to know how you feel. Aww. Still going. Unchecked the average 3 viewers after the last stream. Oh no! Maybe because you've had some lower viewership streams. I will make sure I lurk. I feel bad that I wasn't able to lurk this morning because I was doing Windows Update, but I will make sure. I was in your stream, was it Tuesday? I don't remember which day it was. You were having some technical difficulties, but I was lurking. I was all lurking. I believe I'll have it after this one is over. Heck yeah! It was Monday. I know what the week has been. This week has been a bit of a whirlwind for me. I'm going to be honest. This week has been a little bit high stress, and I've been a little bit all over the place. As you can tell from me spending the first 10 minutes of the stream reading the CoStar app. Oh no, Taryn, I hope you feel better soon. I hope you're not getting sick. My stomach was a little off this morning, but I know why. I dared to eat cheese last night, so, my body was like, you naughty naughty, and I took a pill, but I guess it wasn't enough. But yeah, today we're working on the prompt novel. There's 2 chapters left, so after today there's only going to be 1 chapter. That is what penultimate means, for those that don't know. It is the next to last, the next to last. The one before the end. The penultimate versus the ultimate. And this is where we are going to finally tie together the climax of everything that we've been setting up with all of these prompts. And the prompt for today, I need to minimize this for 1 second, so I can read you the prompt, is character gets to revisit 1 moment from their life. And in this case, the character is going to get to change that moment. And so for the last 2 chapters, we've sort of been building up to this. The previous 2 chapters were you can buy a pill that lets you decide exactly what you will dream, and past and present timelines begin to merge. So basically our main character, Ira, short version, she's discovered that she's a witch. It was a power she was born with. She didn't get to decide. It awakened one day unexpectedly, and she accidentally, in our very first chapter, cursed another character when he, after a bout of road rage, and it caused him to have a great deal of computer trouble. He basically couldn't touch anything technological for a hot minute. Through the grapevine, it turned out that this cursed character, Alile, worked with a woman named Nala, who was best friends with Ira's husband, Delmar. In fact, Nala and Delmar were high school sweethearts. All of this came from the many, many prompts that we rolled at the beginning of last year. Nala turned to Ira at Delmar's behest to get help, to get Alile out of a computer simulation that he was stuck in, because curses and computers, you know. And Ira agreed to help, only realizing after the fact that the problem occurred because of her. So, during the course of solving that problem, she kind of caused another problem. And now she's trying to figure out how to solve all the problems. Oh, we're gonna clack hard, why? We're gonna clack harder than we ever have before. And how are you doing, my friend? She caused more problems in the course of trying to solve the first problem, and now she has arrived at a moment where the only way for her to solve her problems is magic, which caused all of her problems in the first place. She received a magical pill from an old witch crone that would allow her to essentially pick 1 moment from her life and change it. But first, she fell into a very deep sleep where she dreamed about potential moments from her life and how she might change those and what the effects of those change might be, hence the past and present timelines beginning to merge. And she realized through the course of this dreaming, magical dreaming sequence, that every choice we make, every moment in our life has ripples that move outward through time and create various effects. And that changing 1 moment in time isn't as simple as it sounds, because everything touched by those ripples would be changed as well. And so after a great deal of thoughts, Ira has arrived at the moment that she is going to change. Way back, sometime last year, when we wrote one of these prompts, one of these prompt chapters, I did a tarot card reading on stream, and I used the tarot cards that I pulled from my deck here on stream to create that part of the story. And it was actually shockingly accurate to what was happening with the characters in the book, which was kind of fun. And at the end of that reading, we pulled a special card, and that card was the Queen of Pentacles. And that card represented Ira. It was not a card given to Ira. It was Alile that had the reading, but it was a card that represented Ira. And when Alile was stuck in the computer simulation, the message that his brain kept sending back to the computer operators was the Queen of Pentacles. And when Ira saw that card, it was a call to her to enter the simulation and do the things that led to the problems that she's having today. So, the thing that Ira's going to change is that tarot card. And we are going to choose which card is going to be drawn instead of the Queen of Pentacles right now before we get started. I don't know if you guys find this at all amusing or interesting, but it's what we're doing. Working right now. Why? I hope work is going smoothly. So, just to remind you guys, Queen of Pentacles, if you arrange the tarot cards in sort of a standardized order, the pentacles are near the end of the deck. And the pentacles tend to represent, what's the word I'm looking for? Prosperity. My brain dying already. The pentacles tend to represent prosperity, either via wealth or material goods, or even just advancing through your career and having the things that you're looking for happening for you. Cheers, Pie. How many hydrates? Let's see how many hydrates we get. Just the 3? Cheers. A 1. A 2. A 3. 3 licks to the Tootsie Roll Sunpop. A Tootsie Pop. Listen, I didn't want to go too soon. No, Pie. I wanted to make sure that I didn't go too soon. I gotta give you all the hydrates. Alright, so the Queen of Pentacles. This card indicates a feminine influence who is good with finances, but critical and demanding. An opportunity will come to reap good benefits after a long time of labor. This is an auspicious time for making future plans. And then there's a more detailed description of this card, because this was the deck that I used. The Queen of Pentacles is represented by an older woman dressed in rich earth tone robes. She wears a crown with a pentacle centered on her forehead. Her dragon throne is carved of stone. She has earned the right to sit on the mighty throne through her diligent study and compassion for all creatures on the earth. On the back of the throne, just above her head, is carved a large dragon, symbolic of her constant contact with the astral and spiritual realms. Just above her head is a spinning pentacle of power and protection. In one hand, she holds a wand with a golden star at its tip. A mistress of psychic power, the woman knows how to manifest her desires, yet she does this with great control and consideration. Sorry, I thought I heard my phone go off. The other hand rests on the head of a dragon lying beside the throne, her astral companion. The red of her cloak symbolizes the blood of life, while the brown of her gown reveals her connections with earth and the powers of nature. Her white undergown reveals the closeness she has established with spiritual realms. By her side is a small ornate table holding a candle and a crystal ball, while books are scattered at her feet. Through knowledge and study, this woman has learned to see clearly into the past and the future. So this is the card. This one's not in color because it's just an illustration, but this is the card that we were talking about. And I want to... Normally, I would just pick a card and just see where we went. But I want to do a kind of equivalent exchange. I want it to be a high-powered card because the Queen card is pretty high. Pardon me, I've been sniffly of late. So what I want to do is replace the Queen of Pentacles with the Queen of Swords, which I'll explain why in a minute. But I need to make sure that that will work for the character. So we're going to peek at the Queen of Swords here in a second. Just going to take a little sneaky peeky. So the swords, the reason why I'm kind of leaning towards swords is the swords are earlier in the deck. And they tend to represent hardship. A lot of the swords cards tend to have or be perceived as having negative connotations or negative meanings. They tend to deal a lot with hardship or the need to overcome hardship. When you work with tarot cards enough, you sort of learn that each suit has a theme. The cups tend to relate to relationships a lot, and swords tend to relate to hardship and often hardships that we cause for ourselves or problems with self-reflection that we have a difficult time facing. So swords are a powerful suit because they are typically associated with fire, and fire is the element of passion, but also of sort of rebirth and transformation. So I'm leaning towards swords because I feel like it suits the character that we're talking about a little bit better. So this says, the Queen of Swords. This card indicates a powerful feminine influence, which is what we're looking for. You'll be faced with a period in your life that makes you learn an important lesson you've avoided. Be careful getting your way in something through manipulation, for later this action will come back to haunt you. Which is very perfect for the character that this is representing, because she's kind of a manipulative bee. The Queen of Swords is a mature woman who walks through a pit of fire with confidence. Remember I said the swords are a fire suit? Although the flames flare around her on all sides, her face is calm, her eyes straight ahead. She has learned that life offers both positive and negative learning experiences, and that one becomes stronger by refusing to give in to fear and despair. In one hand she carries a raised sword, while the other rests on the head of the large fire dragon, who is mostly hidden behind her, and from whose mouth issues yet more flames. The sword represents the queen's faith in her ability to fight her way through any adversity, while the huge dragon companion symbolizes astral and spiritual teachers who are always beside us, not to impede our progress by making life too smooth, but to guide our steps through any trial to safety. The queen wears a crown with a triangular-shaped red stone on the front, symbolic of her connectedness with both the goddess and her own feminine power. 3 little fire dragons frolic in the flames, encouraging her to continue her path. And this is the card. I don't know how well you can see. I don't know if you can see the little dragons, but this is the card. Reading that, I think it's a very good match. I think it's exactly what I'm looking for this character. So, I need to do a small bit of mathematical conversion here. Let's do... I think given my day today, we need to have a nice, relaxing meditation. We need a nice, relaxing meditation with some of our sweet boops here. Look at him. He's so cute. So one moment here, because it's just going to freeze the animations while I open this. So the way that I indicated the tarot card before was a mathematical calculation. Is it here? Yes, here we go. There are 78 cards in the standard tarot card deck. The first 22 are the major arcana. The remaining 56 represent the minor arcana, which are shockingly similar to a standard playing card deck. Each contains 10 number or pip cards and 4 face cards, as opposed to the 3 face cards in a standard deck of playing cards. 4.13 likely indicates the 13th card of the 4th suit. So... Swords is, I believe, the 2nd suit. It is usually wands, swords, cups, pentacles. Let's check. This is, hopefully you're enjoying this insight into how my brain works. Things that I do before I start writing something. Now, this is interesting because this one does wands, swords, cups, pentacles, but this one is listed as wands, cups, swords, pentacles. Let me see. The most common order for arranging the suits is wands, cups, swords, pentacles. So it would be the third suit. It says 55, arrow. Next it says 4.13, so this would be 3.13. Third suit, 13th card. Such a small little change. One subtle number. And then we're going to see how that affects the rest of these people's lives. Do I have Lyle's name in here? Yes, because his is the name I always forget how to spell. So I think we're ready to go then. I've got my notes. I have confirmed that the plan is a solid plan, and we just need to create a document. So, save as 2003. Prompt novel chapter 24. There was some stuff I needed to do before I could zone in. What did I miss? Just a lengthy discussion about my reasons for what I'm about to do in this writing prompt. And also, we looked at CoStar, the astrology app. I don't know why I said it that way. Just because it's funny. Okay, so yes, today's prompt, just for anybody who missed it, is character gets to revisit one moment from their life. And I did all of that planning, and I didn't think of where I was going to start writing. So, great. Cool. Let's put the book over here, just in case we need it. I'm gonna go take a quick cheeky break. I know it's quite late to be starting the productivity part of the stream, but technically all of that tarot stuff was working. So we're going to do 30 minutes. I'm not going to put a rolling timer on today because I never quite know. I usually only need 2 sprints to get the writing done. But we'll see how the first sprint goes, and then if I feel like I'm gonna need 3, we might do compressed breaks so that we can do an extra sprint at the end, or if I'm like, yeah, I confidently got halfway through that, we can have a little bit of a longer break. So I don't want to tie us too much into a set schedule. Heck yeah, I see that Honeysuckle posted about commissions. Heck yeah! So check out what Honeysuckle is offering if you're looking for some character art. I know we have several artists in the community, so if anyone else is also open to commissions and you guys want to share that stuff, you don't need to ask. You can just go ahead and post in the other promo section. That's partially what it's for. And likewise, writer friends, for any of you who have writing that you want to share, if you're looking for critique, there's a critique section of the Discord, and if you have something that you're publishing and you're looking to get to make people aware of, you can post that as well. That's what that is for. One more thing, I will mention it now before I go take a quick breaky break, and I'll try to mention it a couple more times before we end stream, but I mentioned way back at the beginning of the month that I was signing up for a special event. That event is happening tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow, February 28th. It is called Stuff with Fantasy. It is a massive promo event where over 375 different authors have come together in order to offer their books for free and to share with our audiences, so that everybody can find this massive, wonderful deal and be introduced to a bunch of new stories. Some people, myself included, do set their books free a day in advance. So you may be able to start downloading some of these books now, but the thrust of the event, is tomorrow. It's a one-day event this time. It was 3 days last time. So it is February 28th. It's the big, big day. And as part of this promotion, you can get the first book in the Celestial Serenade, The End of All Things, free until March 2nd, I believe. So I have 4 days. I personally have 4 days of promo going. In addition to that, you can get the second book and the third book. That's Across the Void and After the Nightmare for 99 cents. So you can basically get the first 3 books in the Celestial Serenade for $2 dues. They are the ebook versions, of course. I am doing that again. So it's a different series this time. If you're interested in checking out the books on offer, head over to Stuff with Fantasy. Now, most of these deals will go live tomorrow. Some of them may be live today. So if you want to scout out the page ahead of time, there's a lot to go through. There's at the top, there's a quick links bar where you can click on the various different genres and get quick taken to them. There's a filter that you can use to search by tropes. So if you're looking for romance, if you're looking for non-romance, if you're looking for found family, if you're looking for dragons, if you're looking for witches, you can use the search functions to find those. I am under the sci-fi section, and just for good measure, I will give you guys a link to The End of All Things. And from there, you can also find books 2 and 3. If you just click on where it says The Celestial Serenade, you can find books 2 and 3, which are 99 cents today. And then there's 6 other books in the series for you to enjoy if you'd like. After that, but you can get the first 3, basically the original story arc, for $2 dues, today. So there you go. Check that out if you like. Like I said, the bulk of the deal is happening tomorrow, so you probably won't find all of the books on sale today. The organizers will be going through at midnight Pacific time tonight, so the very wee hours of morning on the East Coast, to check and make sure that all the books are free, because they are supposed to be free. But you might be able to sneaky peek find a few that are available a day ahead of time, because lots of us do go ahead and just to be sure that the changeover happens, we do it a day early. And I have already checked that all 3 of my sales went live this morning. You can 100% get the first book free, the second 2 for 99 cents, should you so desire. So yeah, that's happening. And I'm very excited about it. There's been a lot of setup to get us to this moment. So yeah, check that out. If you want, I believe as well, when you visit that website, you can subscribe to their newsletter, and their newsletter will go out whenever they do a Stuff with Fantasy event, so that you always know when it's happening. Or, if and you like, you can pop over to my website, megancutler.net, which is right up here. And you can sign up for my newsletter to find out when my books go live. And if I am participating in a big event, I always send out a newsletter on the day as well. So anyone who's subscribed to my newsletter, you're getting one tomorrow with news about the Madness Beyond Control release and news about this big event. Thank you, Blur. You do also get 2 free novellas for signing up for my newsletter. The Oracle's Tale, which is a high fantasy tale about an oracle, and The Paradox Syndrome, which is a sci-fi short about paradoxes. So that was a lot of promoing for a short period of time, but I wanted to make sure I get that out. I will talk about it again at the end of stream, just for anyone who missed it this time around. Been meaning to set up commissions for a while now. I know where to start, but it's starting. That's the issue for me. I know what you mean. I need to set up a sign-up form for people who want signed copies of books, so that it's a little bit more official and a little less, because I feel like right now the process is, hey, message me on Discord, and I think that some people don't maybe feel good about doing that. So I want to get a form set up, but I just haven't had time. So I feel you. All right, break time as promised, and then the clicky clacks are finally going to begin. So here we go. right. Conquest, hello, hello. I haven't seen you in a while. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it's almost noon already. It's been such a weird morning. Why are you mad at us? I'm not? Question mark? What made you think that I'm mad at you? Bruce is here. Bruce, I don't know if you were lurking earlier, but I ran a Windows update this morning, not realizing it was going to do a version update, so I just got the new version update. Oh, no, I said I haven't seen you for a while. I feel like you haven't been around for a while, or haven't said hi for a while. I'm very happy to see you. I always appreciate seeing you. I thought Conquest sent the grumpy Dahmer in for a second, and I was like, oh, Dahmer's just always grumpy. Working on an undersea adventure with Vims and semi-branching in vocals and lyrics. I can't remember, but you sent me a really beautiful vocal recording of a sea shanty a little while back, and it was gorgeous. Is it related to that? Bruce, also, how you doing, if you'd like to say? We're gonna get started with the clicky clackies for the adventure indeed. Hell yeah! That sea shanty was amazing, Conquest. I loved it. I feel like I said that, but I may have thought I said that because I feel like that was back at around the time when all the Christmas stuff was happening and life was crazy, and I do have this bad habit of sometimes mentally composing a message and then assuming that I sent it, and then I find out later, someone talks to me and they're like, hey, yeah, so you never answered my message, and I was like, yeah, I did, and then I flip back to the thing, and I'm like, no, I didn't. I thought I did. I meant to. Sea shanty. Heck yeah. I love a good sea shanty. Had a round 2 interview for a new job this morning. Did pretty well, Bruce. I'm so excited for you. We're crossing all the fingers and the toesies for you. Good luck. Please let us know how it goes. We need an Octo character. Oh, really? Like, say, a baby Kraken? He's entirely too cheerful about the world. I also have a whole playlist of sea shanties. Shout out to the Longest Johns, who are my favorite sea shanty group. Sail North is my favorite. Oh God, what is my favorite? My two favorite sea shanties are also really depressing. Barrett's Privateers, which the Longest Johns just finally released to Spotify their version of their cover of the Stan Rogers song, and it's flippin' amazing. And Bones in the Ocean by the Longest Johns as well. So I love those. I do love those. Home Free has a good one. Nice. Hey, Carly, how's it going? You're just in time for the Sprinty Spronts. I sent you all the wonderful things that CoStar said about us today. We are about to be productive. We were a bit late to the productivity because I had to do a Windows update today. And then we had to go through a bunch of prep. But we've done our prep, and now we're ready. Now we're ready to write. Also, we convinced Woof to join us, which was, I feel, the highlight of the day. All right, let's do this thing. Let's do it. Hey, Janine, how's it going? Woof came and gave you a follow. Heck yeah. Woof, thanks for supporting Taryn. We're trying to get her to affiliate status. Where did I end the last chapter? Do I... Just got home from making my tattoo appointment. Hell yeah. Man, I need to do that. How did you pick the tattoo artist that you wanted to go with, Carly? I mean, I guess maybe you've used this one before, but I'm just curious, because that's where I keep getting stuck. Wellerman, always good. Compass, and another original Broken Mass Bay. I haven't heard those ones. I'm gonna have to go look them up. Look at them. I'm gonna have to look at them. It was interesting because the Longest Johns have a song on their latest album, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but I think it's called "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald." And I played it for my in-laws while we were visiting, and they not only knew the story, but they knew exactly where it happened because my mother-in-law used to work in a canal on that lake where that happened. And they just told me all this information about it. It was amazing. I loved it. Didn't really pick. I picked a location based off of local reviews. When I went in, they suggested a guy who would make the piece and tattoo it well. Hell yeah! Well, that's good to know. Sail North is the artist. Got ya. Do you like me a good Wellerman rendition? I will say. Peter's here in the Sleepy Club. We all snoozy fam. How you doing, my friend? And of all things acquired, Taryn, thank you for taking advantage of that sale. I hope you enjoy it. The guy I got charges quite a bit, and his schedule is booked up till April, but that's okay. It gives me time to solidify what I want. Heck yeah! I know, I have a, like, vague idea of what I want. I'm gonna need the artist to design it, so... Bruce Thank you for a giant emote of Peter with, I assume, Alice's whiskers. It also gives me time to build up my muscles, and it will look badass on my arm. Heck yeah. I would eat you guys in the club. We only eat the ones we love. Peter, I think we shouldn't eat our friends today, maybe. I have a 17-minute PowerPoint presentation called The Benefits of Being Eaten by Your Friends. Peter, this is starting to feel like a pyramid scheme. Oh, what's that one about, Taryn? It's not one I've read. I haven't read a ton of Stephen King. I read The Dark Tower, but not really much else. Please don't eat me. My schedule is busy. Carly, I love you. I could say the top benefit to being consumed at the moment would be not having to deal with the universe's shit for a while. Oh, there was a calculation I forgot to do. Six. 58. I don't think that's right. Two. 32. $63. That's right. All right. 63. Math! It's about cannibalism. Oh, I see. A concert tonight, one next week, one on the 18th, one on the 22nd, and then I get a wee break. My God, Carly, that's a lot of concerts. Are you performing in all of those concerts? That's a lot. So this is a character of Stephen King's? I don't do a lot of horror, so I've read The Dark Tower by Stephen King, and that's pretty much all the Stephen King I'm probably ever going to read. Is Holly single? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you'd think I'd be better at Simple Addition, but I ain't. Maybe I'm only saying that because she reminds me of myself and I want you to love me. Is she the cannibal? Question. Is she the cannibal? Okay, good. Ugh, I was like, I didn't think that she would be the cannibal, but I was just like, I need to know she's trying to catch cannibals. That makes more sense if she's a PI. If she's a PI, I just needed to know for sure. I'm assuming Peter wants to be the cannibal in this situation. Just finishing this thought, you guys. I'll be with you in a second. Alright. I'm at 1,448 words. Got a little burst in at the end there. What I've kind of done is gone back to, since we're changing a moment that took place within this story, and since the key crux of the climax of this story is essentially that we're revisiting a moment in time and changing that moment, I've gone back to the original scene that I wrote for the expression of that moment, and I'm taking little bits and pieces of it, just pulling little bits of it out and putting it into the new scene so that the scene is similar but different. So I'm very specifically not copying the whole, like, 4 pages and doing things exactly the same, because that would be boring. And I've seen books that revisit moments and revisit them over and over and don't change enough for it to feel different or exciting. So I'm just taking little pinches of the original scene and inserting the changes so that it feels similar but different. So a few of those things, a few of the things that are in this scene are almost identical to the original, but hopefully it reads differently enough to still be interesting and exciting. And so I've pretty much reached the point of main diversion, which is what I'm going to write during the next sprint. What's the last name that sounds good with Halen? I had one and I lost it. I'm assuming you found one. I'm assuming that's what Nevermind means. I'm sorry I didn't see it, but I'm also horrible with names, so I don't know that I would have helped. Finishing up a sketch I'm working on. Almost done. Heck yeah, Blur. I hope it's going well. I'm assuming this isn't the thumbnail that you were working on yesterday. I'm assuming it's something else. She can catch me if she likes. I'd be great at loving someone. I'd be all like, I love you and whatnot. Peter, you're very loving, and we appreciate the hell out of you. That's how I feel when I have to do math in D&D. Listen, I usually do, like, my attack rolls and stuff with, just, like, really quick finger math, but every now and then I have to pull out a calculator for D&D stuff, especially when I'm DMing. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything else. He's going to design the overall piece, but I'm going to pick the line of music it turns into. Oh, are you going to pick, like, I don't even know if Carly's still lurking. Are you going to pick, like, an actual song that you like? Or are you going to, like, compose your own, like, couple lines of music? That's really cool. I love that idea. If you open it somewhere around the center, you'll be at the start of the middle of the end of all things. That's true. I think I'm caught up. I think I'm caught up. I'm gonna pick a line out of my favorite piece. That's awesome. That's such a cool idea. I didn't even think about that when you showed us the picture of the musical tattoo. It didn't even occur to me that, like, you could choose any line of music, really. That's I love that. That's super cool. I think that the start of the middle of the end of all things was such a clever joke. Like, I'm so proud of it. It was a clever joke, Peter, and we appreciate you. Heck yeah. Oh my goodness. So I do feel like I'm kind of maybe roughly halfway through this prompt. I feel like it's been a long road to get here because my morning has just been so for everybody who wasn't here when I did my spiel at the start of stream. I had to run a Windows update today because I was getting close to my update time, and I know that at a certain point, because I keep my updates paused, but I know that at a certain point they just unpause and go, and it's not always on the day that it says it'll be. So, I'm trying to get a little more trusting of Windows updates. I'm trying not to stress out about them all the time, even though with my old computer, they were like a huge ordeal a lot of the time. So I was like, they usually just take 20 minutes. I run them on Saturday morning. It'll be fine. And then it was like version update, and it had already started. And I was like, well, we'll see how this goes. But it only took about 45 minutes to install, so we were a little late starting stream, but we're here. Everything seems to be working. Taryn, hell yes! Thank you for the raid! Accept Bacula into your heart, Carly. What? It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time. I see, an Enterprise joke. I read it out of order. I do like Scott Bakula, but I don't like Enterprise. Hot take. Ghost Pepper's old boss used to look exactly like Scott Bakula. Anyway, everybody, please head over and give Taryn a follow. Taryn is trying to get to affiliate. We think that she's pretty close. It sounded like maybe just an average viewership thing that needs to be re-upped in order to get that final bump into affiliate. So please go over, give her a follow, and if you see her streaming in the next little while, give her some support, give her some love, give her some lurk, so that she can get to that final hump of affiliate status and regale us with lovely emotes of her pink Tyrannosaurus, because we need those emotes, you guys. Taryn, how was your stream? How was your project today? What were you working on, if you want to share? I love Enterprise. It's a genuinely interesting show. They made some really massive swings, and some went better than others. It was a solid 10 out of 10. I didn't really get into Enterprise. I haven't really liked a lot of the prequel stuff, which makes me surprised that I like Strange New Worlds. I did hear that Enterprise got really good in the last, season, but also it seemed like there were, two guys that everything happened to in Enterprise. So it was one interesting character and the rest of the people are just kind of there. Why can I write this? Why can I write in this redeem when there's nothing to write here? So I write here a lot because I can, even though I don't see the point of doing this just to make a point. I didn't know that you could write something in there. I didn't know that you could do that. I didn't know, Pi. I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm gonna take a quick break and then I'll put the ears on. I just laughed so hard, Pi. Running late to get my kiddo, so I'm heading out. Taryn, thank you so much for the raid and for hanging out. We appreciate the heck out of you. Good luck on that final push to affiliate. Keep us updated. And I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day and / weekend. Stream was good. Work was good. Writing a middle chapter. Ugh, middles. I hate the middle. It's my least favorite part. Adding details. And more showing versus telling. Sounds like it's going well. Enterprise needed at least one more season to fully wrap everything up. The cancellation came as a surprise, so they had maybe half a dozen episodes to wrap up all the plots. I do know that it was canceled very suddenly, because I think the problem was it took them so long to get good, for the show to get good, that they didn't have the viewership ratings, and then they were just sort of starting to win people over, and they pulled the rug out from under the show, which happens a lot. That happens shockingly often with network TV. L-Hawk's here. Hell yeah! Your timing is perfect because I was about to go AFK, but you slipped in before we did. Quill of Quality, hello, hello. How's it going? Gotta raid and run. No worries, Elhawk. We appreciate you. I hope your stream went well, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Raiders coming in. Let us know how Elhawk's stream went and how you're doing and what you're up to. We are just having a small interlude to talk about Enterprise, apparently, before I take a quick pop AFK. But it does happen shockingly often with TV shows that, because I could go on a huge rant about this, but most shows don't get good right away. Most shows take a couple of seasons before they really settle into the character and the setting and get their momentum. And I always point at The Next Generation as, like, an example of this. The Next Generation was one of the best, in my opinion, Star Trek series, but the first season was not really very noteworthy. They had basically put all of their main characters on the bridge. They had too many main characters they didn't really know what to do with. It was, there's a handful of good episodes, but there wasn't really anything to give the show the kind of charm and push it needed to be really great. It was just, a second attempt at Star Trek. And then they did some major changes for the second season. They, spoiler for a really old show, killed off Tasha Yar, so that they could put Worf into the chief security position. They made Geordi an engineer, took him off the bridge, gave him a bit more agency, a bit more interest into what was happening. And once they sort of settled the crew into their places, the show really took off and everyone sort of found their niche, and it worked really well, and they had that dynamic. But if they had canceled the show after the first season, it wouldn't have gone anywhere. It wouldn't have done anything. Most shows do need 2 or 3 seasons before they really settle into being really good or discovering what they really want to be about. And so it's even more difficult nowadays because with streaming services, a lot of shows get 10 episodes. They get 10 episodes and they have to be good in those 10 episodes. And if they're not good, or sometimes they are really good, but they just don't get the viewership like right off the bat, and then they get canceled. And it's like, you gave this show 10 episodes to be successful. That's not reasonable. That's not fair. But they spend so much money producing TV now that if it's not an instant overnight success, they just don't support it. So I could go on like a whole big rant about how they don't really give shows enough time to take off. Enterprise did get, I think, 3 seasons, so it probably was at the point where it should have been better a little bit earlier on. But it does suck that they had pretty much found their sweet spot and then they were taken off the air. It is a thing that do happen. Going well, like both your in real life sweater and your spirit smoothie sweater. Thank you! They do accidentally match. I didn't realize, because I think I set up this avatar before Christmas, and then I got this sweater for Christmas, and I came home and started wearing this sweater more often, and somebody pointed out that I matched, and I was like, oh yeah, I do! For anyone who doesn't know, this is the, I don't know how well you can see it, this is the FCG cardigan from Critical Role. It's very super comfy, and I love it. I'm gonna go take a quick break. I can see that Peter is giving me some more info on Enterprise, and I don't want to rush through that. So I'm gonna take a quick break, visit the washroom because I need a tinkle, and then I will give those messages the proper time, and I will put on the ears for Pi because I promised I would put on the ears. So I'll be right back. We will catch up on chat, and we will do another sprint and hopefully wrap up the climax of this prompt novel. Gonna start cleaning. Carly, good luck. I hate cleaning, but I hope you're able to get through it relatively quickly, and it'll feel nice when it's done. I will be right back. Don't forget to get up, move, stretch, grab something to eat or drink, take your meds if you need to, check if you've taken your meds if you aren't sure, and we'll be right back. Yay! I'm so glad I remembered to remind people. I forgot during the first break. Glad that you took your meds. Let me... Hang on. Gotta slide my headphones back a bit. And then we slide these ears on. There we go. Ears for pie. I try to always remind people during my go-to breaks because I remember when I was taking meds every day, I would, if I didn't like put them right in front of my face in a place where I would actively see them, I would just be like, doop-de-doo, and then halfway through the day I'd be like, shit! So, thank you, Blur. Alright, we got ears for pie. We're gonna catch up on what Peter said. It really does happen so much in TV. Like, I don't know how anyone in TV trusts anyone in TV management. Well, and Fox has this thing that it does where it will put a TV show on at a certain time, and then it will just keep changing the time so no one can ever find it, so it never has viewership ratings, so they can just cancel it. Enterprise needed at least one more series. Oh yeah, we talked about that one. MASH is a prime example of this. Like, nobody watched the first season, and it was nearly canceled. They repeated the first season during the summer, and then that's when the audience found it, and that brought it back for the second season, and it grew from there. Tasha deserved better. If it were me, I'd probably have killed Troy. I think one of the reasons that they killed Tasha Yar, and I feel like they've talked about this a little bit behind the scenes, is that the actress who played Tasha Yar ended up moving to the production team. So she didn't fully leave the show, and that's why she came back later as a Romulan character, or a half Romulan character, because they ended up doing this whole subplot where there was like an alternate timeline in which Tasha had gone to do something to save the Enterprise, to save an earlier version of the Enterprise from a time distortion, and then she ended up having a relationship with a Romulan and having a half Romulan daughter who was played by the same actress. And I think one of the reasons why they went that route was because she had kind of moved into the writing/production team. So she stayed an active part of the show throughout the show's development. She just wasn't on screen as much. And I think that was one of the reasons why they killed Tasha Yar off, was so that the actress could go and do other things for the show. Because I remember the cast talking about how she stayed as kind of like an active member of the team throughout the show's development. Not sure why they made the decision to do what they do, but I do love Deanna Troi, and I do love the woman who plays Deanna Troi. So I'm glad that she stuck around. But yeah, even so, like, it was a choice that they made to make the show better. If you just judge The Next Generation on its first season, it's not really anything to write home about. With the show still trying to find itself in its first season, you're going to have one or two clunker episodes. It didn't matter much when there was a series of 24 episodes, but in a series of 10, it just doesn't fit the mold. Exactly. With 10 episodes, it's got to be tight. Everything's got to be really tight. Everything's got to be on point, right from the start, right throughout. And sometimes even if you are on point, they just are like, okay, we're canceling you, bye. But yeah, I think about that a lot in the changing, sort of changing face of TV shows and how they run things now. Hang on, I'm just going to open my blinds a little bit more now that the sun's not... The sun was super intense this morning. But it's something I think about a lot because, you know, you used to have 24 to 48 episodes to win people over, and now you get 10 if you're lucky. Like, some seasons are 8 or 9 episodes, and it's like, you're giving me 8 episodes. Has Been Hotel was, I think, only 8 episodes, and they were like 30-minute episodes. So it's like, this show is amazing. Why doesn't it even get 10 episodes? And it was the same, we watched Exploding Kittens, which ended up being really good. It's a little animated TV show and on Netflix, I think, and it only had 9 episodes, and they were like 30-minute episodes, and it's like, this is great. This could be 20 episodes. It would be hilarious. So I have alarms to remind me to take my meds. You gotta find a way somehow. You did do some redeems. Everybody, please save your work. Very important if you're working on something. I'm gonna hit my save button like 4 times. I'm gonna do a stretchy stretch. I did a little bit of a stretch when I was up and moving, but I will do an upper body stretch as well. Take care of these figgies. Have a little yawn. And I will dual hydrate because I made you wait so long. Thank you for your patience, Blur. I also feel like, and I mean this in the loveliest way, that a 1980s TV show run exclusively by men can mean it. I think you mean maybe beat it. Troy was more conveniently pretty for the male gaze than Tasha, so I feel like that had a big part to do with it. I'm not entirely sure if that was the influence of the decision. Tiana Troy was also a new type of character, a new archetype of character, because she was like the therapist, right? She served a new role on the ship, and one of the things that they were trying to do with the next generation was to put a focus on different ways of solving problems and dealing with emotions, because that was starting to be something that was coming more often into the public consciousness. So I think the decision to keep Troy had a lot to do with the role that she served on the ship as well. And I think they wanted to put Worf into the security position, and Tasha was there, so they had to get rid of her. I'm not saying it was, like, fair for them to make it that way. I just think that that's part of why they made that decision. As a young fella, Troy was very pretty, but Tasha made me feel things. Tasha is death by snoo snoo, and I loved her. She awoke things in me I didn't realize I liked. I did like that they did something with her character, right? They did at least give her a subplot in the series, which I think was better than the way they originally offed her, because the way she dies in the first season is just very abrupt and, like, numbing, because there's not really a way to process it. It just happens so quickly. So I thought bringing her back and having her have, like, an alternate timeline that she actually, like, did something in was a good call. Has-Been Hotel was all over the place. They wanted to do so much, but they had to cram it into 8 30-minute episodes. It was so good, though. Everything about Has-Been Hotel is so good. The character design, the animation. There's so many subtle little things that they did with that show. The music, the plot, it's great. I'm really hoping that for a second season they get more episodes, because I think they've been renewed. I haven't gotten to watch Hell of a Boss yet. It has been recommended to me, but it's on YouTube, so it's going to take a different time, like chunk of my time. Has-Been Hotel I could watch on my couch. So I have had that recommended to me, but I haven't gotten to watch it yet. I love the visual of Tasha as chief of security, leading and commanding this massive security officer of Worf and him obeying her. That's such a powerful visual for young lasses. Absolutely. And that's why I like that they brought Tasha back. I mean, Tasha's, like, kind of off-camera story was that she ended up being taken by the Romulans and forming a life for herself and having a child and raising that child and still being strong and still being herself under, like, this huge huge oppressive situation. So Tasha was a great character. It was a shame that they didn't do more with her. But again, the point stands. If they had canceled it after season 1, Tasha wouldn't have amounted to anything, and that would have sucked. I'm iffy with Hell of a Boss. The first season was good, but season 2 is when I started to lose interest. I haven't seen any of it yet, so I can't comment. But what I can comment on is we're gonna start a sprinty sprint. This is probably gonna be the final sprint, so I'm gonna pop up the final sprint. I'm not in a huge hurry to end stream or anything. But after 30 minutes, we'll see how close I am to finishing, and we'll probably just, because I kind of mapped out how much I have left to do with this chapter, and I don't think it's going to take very long. But we're probably pretty much just going to go to the end of the scene and then wrap up stream. Megan making a statement on behalf of the worlds. On behalf of the words, rather. Megan speaks words for the words. I speak for the words! They don't always deserve it, but I do my best. Honestly, Peter, someday we need to do a stream where we just get together and talk about how, like, the background mechanics of TV shows and how so many people get the raw deal. Because you and I think, are on this wavelength about how they've changed production and, like, all of these little, like, background mechanical, like, building blocks of like, how these, like, the history of these TV shows. It would be so awesome to just get together and shoot the shit for, like, hours on end about this stuff. I speak on behalf of the sassy, salty bitches. We appreciate you, Peter. Megan and Peter fix TV. Heck yeah. It's the kind of conversation I could literally have for, like, 4 hours, but I have to actually do work. Cheers, Kai. Sorry, I was just blowing my nose there. be going to bed soon. Good night, Pi. We appreciate the heck out of you. Please take care. I will see you next week or on somebody else's stream. And cheers for a final hydrate before you head to bed. I'm also going to take off. I believe we've had at least 10 minutes with the ears and they are starting to give me a bit of a headache. cleaning is done? Heck yeah, Carly. I hope you get a chance to relax now. Relaxing until it's time to get dressed for the concert. Awesome! I'm right at the end of this scene, so we're gonna finish it. Dad, hello! How are you? What's going on? What is up? I heard that you are doing a big fundraiser next week with GASP. And other people, but I know that GASP is going to be there. Good vibin'? Heck yeah! I hope you're having a fabulous day. Mine got off to a weird start because I had to do a big Windows update this morning. But we're here now, and we're chill, and we're almost done with the scene. Heck yeah, he did give me the schedule. I'm gonna have to get him to give it to me again, but he told me when he's gonna be participating. And it's grocery weekend this weekend, so we'll probably stock up on quick and easy meals so that he can be prepared. All right, scene finished. It's been a weird, wild ride writing a novel that the plot was determined entirely by writing prompts. There was genuinely a moment in time where I thought there's no way to resolve this just endless setup. There's no actual resolution. But I managed to find a combination of writing prompts, and I feel like I've fulfilled the spirit of all the writing prompts, but still managed to tell a story. So I'm excited about that. There's one more chapter that we're gonna write. Usually when I do my personal, big projects, I like to have a couple extra chapters of falling action. I like to give the reader a sense of here's what happens after the fact. But by the very nature of some of these writing prompts, there's kind of been little glimpses of how things would work out if it happened differently. So I'm pretty sure that we can wrap up, give a little bit of falling action and sort of bring everything, yeah, sort of like an epilogue, bring everything to a conclusion. Some stories, if you think of Freytag's pyramid, which is that big, sort of jagged, almost reverse checkmark thing, that is the plot graph. Lots of novels end at the climax. Like, essentially, the climax happens and that's the end. Because the climax is really the final confrontation, the moment of resolution happens at the end of the climax. And then you technically don't need any more story. You've technically reached the end of the story. I like to have a little chapter afterwards where it's like, here's what happened after the massive final battle or the epic slap fight or whatever. I don't actually have any epic slap fights. I should write one. Like, here's what happened after that. Because I like, myself personally, I like to know what happens after the big boom. I like to know the consequences of the decisions that people made and sort of where they end up after. You know, do they get the new job, or do they disappear and never speak to anybody again? You know, like what happens as a result of the choices that the heroes made, and, you know, where do they go from there? Usually with my fantasy stories, there is a big fight of some kind. And so I like to take that opportunity to be like, oh yeah, by the way, these people survived. So you're not like, did they die? This is a more slice of life story. So, in some ways it's a little bit harder. Do they get that job at Quiznos? Exactly. And save the company from bankruptcy. What happens afterwards? I like knowing those things. Being a slice of life story, there's fewer immediate consequences, because there was no big epic battle, so there's no like direct aftermath. Airy Knight 2, thank you so much for following. Welcome in. But I do want to take a hot minute to be like, you know, here's the immediate aftermath and the directions that people sort of go in. Because otherwise it will, to me, just kind of feel like the story stops and doesn't really give you that final closure. So I'm going to have one more chapter for final closure. I can tell you guys what the prompt for it is. It's a little bit of an odd one, but of course we got to work with what we're given. It's the final one that we rolled. One character thinks their relationship is a fling and the other thinks it's destiny. So that is what we're going to use to sort of tie off the last final knots. One of the plots has definitely resolved. There were two main characters that I used for this novel, Ira and Eliel. So Ira's story is pretty much wrapped up. At the end of this chapter, it's pretty easy to see where she is and where she's going and what she's going to have to do to have her happy ending. And then we kind of have a dangling thread with Eliel, because his plot ended up being a little bit more in the background. So we're going to give him one more chapter to sort of come back into the foreground and sort of get that same resolution. And then we'll wrap it up. And this will be the first time that I've written a standalone story in a very long time. I don't have any sequel planned. If I did an exercise like this again, I think I would not use the same characters or the same prompt sites. But yeah, it's been really fun to do this. Actually, I remained not entirely confident that this would actually work until pretty much this month. And even writing this scene, I was like, can I do this? Can I take just all of this wild tangle that I've created and bring it to like one point conclusion? And I think I did a good job. I think I was able to reach back and use some of the things that I established from previous chapters. I think, like I said, pulling little pinches out of previous scenes and sprinkling them into the final climax makes it hopefully feel a bit more cohesive than it would have otherwise. So yeah, I don't know. I think if I like if I ever polished this novel and published it, I don't know that it would be like, I don't think it would get rave reviews. I don't think it's like my greatest work, but for something that was designed to be random and designed to challenge me, I don't know why I said it like that, challenge me to do something outside my comfort zone, I think it succeeded at that. So I am happy with it in that sense. Because I could have just ended up with a massive dumpster fire, and I don't think that happened. I do think I at least have something readable. Not gonna claim it's my most masterful plot, but it was sort of cobbled together week by week. If I was going to actually polish this into like a novel that I was planning to publish like for money, this is all gonna go for free on my blog. So people are gonna be able to read all of this crazy stuff we've been writing on stream on my blog for free. You can already read like the first 16 chapters over at megancutler.net. Chapter 17 is coming out next week, I think. So like if I was going to polish it up and publish it on like Amazon for money, I think I would need to make some significant changes to the plot. I think I would need to tighten it up quite a bit, and possibly build a little bit more background into some of the characters. So it would probably have to do significant edits to tighten up the narrative. But as something that was just a free, fun exercise for free shorts on my blog, I think it's pretty decent. And it's been fun. It's been a nice little, I don't want to say distraction, but it's been a nice little exercise. So we have one more chapter of this that we're going to write. Probably not next week, because I think I'm only going to get 2 streams in next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't think I'm going to feel up to streaming on Thursday. So probably not next week. Possibly the week after. I am going to be taking some time away from Clicky Clacks in March. So I think I'm planning to take the week of the 17th off for March break. So it would maybe be great to finish this up the week of the 10th, because then there'll be a nice natural break in there. But we'll probably either finish this up the week of the 10th or the week of the 24th, depending on how the rest of my schedule falls. And then we're going to do the extra special Chat Writes a Story that you guys unlocked from the fundraising campaign. So on that day, and I'll post about it well in advance on the Discord, on that day, you guys will get to come into the chat and tell me a bunch of characters and a bunch of events and a bunch of settings and stuff that you want to have happen. You guys will basically get to throw stuff at me, and I will try to turn it into a story. So we'll do that, and then once we've done that, we will start the My Little Dahmerin fanfic, where we're going to turn my grumpy little elf son, who's down there in the corner, into a pony. I've already got the art for it. We'll turn him into a pony, and we'll write a whole story about it. And I'm going to do an actual, like, there's going to be an actual whole plot. I have a vague idea of what I want that to be. And then we'll get to see that happen. And I will show words. I'll switch my layout again so that you guys can see the words that I'm typing and know every step of the process. I'm thinking, because I want to do an outline, I'm thinking I won't show the outline because there'll be spoilers in the outline. So I'll keep the outline secret. But once we get to the actual writing bit, I'll show the words as I'm typing. So for the first time in a long time, you guys will be able to see what I'm actually writing as I'm writing it. Woof will be very pleased. So just as a reminder, this is what he looks like. This is what my grumpy elf son looks like when we turn him into a pony. He's not happy about the fact that I did this. He hates me for it. But too bad. It's for you guys. Also, speaking of the My Little Dahmer fanfic, anybody who spent the, what was it? Anybody who spent the $25 during the fundraiser can redeem a pony to put into the story. You can contact me on Discord and tell me what pony you want to have in there. You still have until the beginning of April to redeem a pony. So if you're just now hearing about the My Little Dahmer fanfic and you're like, OMG, I have to have a pony in there, you can drop a $25 donation or $25 worth of, I think it's 5 gift subs counts towards a pony, or bits redeems that add up to that amount to get a pony. You can still redeem a pony for like the next month and a half. I think I have it like at least a week into April that you can still redeem it. So you can still redeem a pony if you want to have a pony. If you dropped enough donations to have more than one pony, you can either have more than one pony. Carly, I think, has a bunch of ponies. I don't even know how many. I think Carly has at least 3 ponies to redeem. And between them, Bart and Bruce have like a small army of ponies. You have at least 3, Carly. So you can either make 3 ponies yourself, or you can make 1 pony and donate your ponies to other people, or 2 ponies and donate a pony. Like, you can divide up your ponies however you'd like. That's a weird sentence to say, but you can divide up your ponies however you like. So we'll be starting to set up for that, but first we're going to do the special Chat Rates a Story redeem, because you guys unlocked that first. So we'll have that wacky wild exercise, and then we will start the My Little Dahmer fanfic. So just a reminder that if you've already redeemed a pony, let me know about your pony. And if you haven't, you still have a chance. You still have March to redeem a pony that you can put into the story. And they'll appear, and they'll do stuff, and they'll be the pony that you describe. So yeah. That will be happening. We are going to start wrapping up. Where's my display capture? We're going to start wrapping up. Oops. So I am about to go check on who we can raid. But first, I'm considering taking a desk nap. Carly, if you want to take a nap, go somewhere comfy. Go somewhere comfy. Before we go, I promised I would mention this again for anyone who wasn't lurking at the time. I mentioned back at the beginning of the month that I had signed up for a big promo. That promo is happening tomorrow. It is called Stuff with Fantasy. It hasn't yet started fully, but this is the website. I won't be streaming tomorrow, so we're talking about this today. This is the website. If you pop over there, tomorrow, on February 28th, you will find over 375 ebooks that are going to be free. The event is specifically for tomorrow, so all of the books on this website should be free tomorrow, all day. The event organizers will go through and make sure. You might be able to find some free books on there today. My free offering is free today. Get to that in a second. But basically, this is a promo for fantasy books and fantasy authors. You can use the quick links at the top to go to a specific genre that you're looking for. You'll find my book under the sci-fi section. And you can use the filter option to look for certain tropes if you want to find dragons or vampires or witches or whatever. If you want romance, non-romance, you can use the filter to find the information there. Also, each book has a little indicator of how much spice it has, so that if you're looking for spice or not looking for spice, you can filter by that as well. And that's happening tomorrow. Everything on there will be free tomorrow, but if you want to take a sneaky peek and see if you can find any of the books on sale a little bit early, you can find it there. I will, of course, post on the Discord tomorrow. I don't know why I can't talk. I'll post on the Discord tomorrow to let everyone know, to give them a heads up. My book that you can find for free already today is The End of All Things. It is the start of the Celestial Serenade, my space opera. You can grab that book for free for the next 4 days. So until March 2nd, that book will be free. And in addition to that, the second two books in the series, Book 2, Across the Void, and Book 3, After the Nightmare, are just 99 cents until Sunday. Again, so March 2nd, 4 days. So you can grab the first three books in the series for essentially $2 dues. It's a great deal. I don't do this very often. So you can check that out. You can basically grab the first trilogy for super cheap. And that is happening until March 2nd. So check those things out. Really excited that this is happening because there's been a lot of setup. There's a lot of authors participating in this promo, and there's been a lot of setup and build up to this finally happening. So that's happening. Check it out. Grab yourself some free treats. And I am sadly not going to be streaming anymore this week. It is the end of my stream cycle, but I will be back next week. Probably only Tuesday and Wednesday next week. I'm expecting to have some health stuff to deal with, so probably won't end up streaming on Thursday. But keep an eye on the Discord. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know. I will be over on It's Swift's channel on Saturday night at 7:30 PST, our usual time for Cozy Chaos. I'm going to be working on the T-Rex in Space Cross-Stitch and a little bit more of Vampire Therapist. Ooh, I think this is frozen because I think I accidentally minimized it. So that'll be happening on Saturday, and then I will stream next week. It just might not be the usual 3. Let's see who's around for a raid. Ooh, Queen Negan is co-working, and we do not get to raid her very often, so we might head over there. I usually these days catch her playing games versus doing co-working. So while the co-working is happening, we shall go say hi. It was a lovely stream. Thank you for streaming. Blur, thank you for hanging out. Wish me luck for Saturday. I'll let you know how it went. Good luck, Blur. I hope it goes very, very well. Thank you very much to everyone who hung out today. I know Thursdays tend to be slightly slower, slightly quieter days, but I still appreciate all of you being here. I did a lot of shop talk today. I did a lot of revealing the inner workings of my brain, and I feel like it was very dense. So thank you for sticking with me. And letting me just yammer about my process. And thank you for your patience. I know I was late today, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me. You got this, Blur. You can 100% save that town. I believe in you. Please take care of yourselves. Remember to eat, to sleep, to drink, to take your meds if you need to take your meds. Take care of this meat sack that we're driving through the universe, because it doesn't come with a manual, but it requires a lot of maintenance. I wish you all a great deal of creativity, productivity, and just general joy until I see you again, because you are amazing, and I'm blessed to have you guys hanging out with me. Until I see you again, take care and farewell.